So today we're going to be rounding to the nearest 10, but this time we're going to be using 3 digits. Again, here I have my rounding mountain. When we round down, the number in the ones place will end in 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4. We would round down to the whole number. If my number in the ones place is 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, we are going to round up to the next whole number. So say I had the number 319. I am going to look at my hundreds place, my tens place, my ones place. But again, because I'm only rounding to the nearest 10, I am only concerned with these two numbers right here. So to make it easier for myself, I am going to cover the hundreds place and just focus on the 19. I'm going to ask myself, what two tens does 19 come between? And that's going to be 10 and 20, okay? Then what I can do is just go ahead and add back that 100. So now that I have my number line here, I'm going to plot the number 319. Before I plot the number, I'm going to find my midpoint. My midpoint number is a number that comes halfway between the two numbers. That's my midpoint, which is 315. 319 is right here. So I'm then going to draw my arrow to 320 because you can see that 319 is closer to the number 320. So now I'm going to go ahead and draw my rounding number line. So again, we said that 24 comes between the numbers of 20 and 30. And then all I'm going to do is add that 100 right back to the number. So then that becomes 421, 22, now I go ahead, when I look at my rounding number line, I'm going to look for my midpoint, which is a number right in the middle, which would be 425. Once I complete that, I'm going to then find my number and plot it on the number line, which is right here. So I can already visibly see that 424, and we know that we're rounding down because if we look at our rounding mountain, 4 rounds down. 424 is closer to 420. So when you round 424 to the nearest 10, it's going to be 420. Let us try another number. Say we have the number 626. I'm only concerned with the tens and the ones place. Remember that the ones place tells us if we're rounding up or down. So I know in the ones place it's a 6, so I know I'm going to be rounding up with 626. So again, I ask myself, 26 comes between which two numbers? Again, it is going to be 20 and 30. And then all I do is add that 600 back on. So then I have 621. So then the first thing I do is I recognize my midpoint is 625. That's my number right smack in the middle. Then I'm going to go ahead and plot my number, 626. As you can see, all these numbers after the midpoint, they go to the nearest whole number, which is they round up, and I draw my arrow here. So 626 is going to round to 630. All right, here's our last number. Let us try 789. All right? Again, we are only concerned with the tens and the ones place because we are rounding to the nearest 10. In our ones place, we have a 9. So right away, we know we are going to be rounding up. Now again, I'm going to ask myself, the number 89 comes between which two tens? That's going to be 80 and 90. Then I'm going to take this 700 and go ahead and add it right back. And then we have 781, 782, 783, 784, 785, 786, 787, 788, 789. First thing I'm going to look at is my midpoint, which is right here. Remember, our midpoint is halfway in between. So I'll put my midpoint there. The next thing I'm going to do is plot my number. I'm going to find 789. 789 is way over here. You can already visibly see that 789 is a lot closer to 790 than it is to 780. So if we round 789 to the nearest 10, it is going to be 790.